when I saw the signs in the beginning. This was not a house in an area, again, that was being developed. So there might have been things in Vine City developing, but in Atlanta, a lot of stuff is block for block. This particular block, actually, there was like a 4-block radius around me, including my block, where nobody was building anything. And all the houses had been abandoned for over 10, 15 years. After speaking to the neighbors, that should have been an indicator then to walk away.
What's up, man? It's the boy Pushmanmitch. You know, I'm the host of the No Fluff Podcast. We back again with another episode. I got my homegirl, my friend Tor, a.k.a. Leash. She about to unleash the beast on this joint. Not your average preneur. She about to get busy, man. You about to teach us everything about real estate, right?
Yep.
Thank you for coming.
I'm glad to be here.
Yo, so it's 2022. Look, what's new? What's going on with Leash in 2022?
What's not going on with Leash? So I do everything real estate now. Everything from I buy and rehab my own homes. I make some of them Airbnbs. I do project management for other people. I help them get loans. I mentor them, help them get in the game. I do a little bit of everything.
Strong intro there, Cor. Strong intro. Yeah. So this is what I got to say about that. We was talking before air, and we was having a very good discussion. You was talking about your amazing mentorship.
Right.
And I'm interested in it. I think I can probably get everybody here to sign up for it, and we will come with you. You take us out on the field with you.
Okay.
So tell us more about your mentorship program. What's the benefits of getting a mentorship by you?
By me, the benefits of it, I take people out in the field. I don't just do a Zoom. I don't just sit you in a conference room like some people do. I actually do hands-on experience because I noticed that myself, along with the others I've spoken to, we learn best that way. So I decided to just take it to the next level and take people out in the field. So whether I'm doing my Airbnbs, my construction, loans, whatever it may be, wholesaling, anything, I take them out with me.
That's super fire.
Yeah,
you know who else does that? I got a partner named Brickle Cigars. We got a lot of units together. Like, we got whole buildings that are Airbnbs, right? Okay. So he does that, and he actually brings people out. He's doing it in a way that I've never seen. I always tell people it's the best mentorship ever because you get so much access to that person. Does it ever seem like it's overwhelming sometimes when you're dealing with people, a lot of people?
It can
How
be.
many people do you take at a time?
I like to do one-on-one. Because if not, there's just so many different personalities and questions at the same time.
Oh, you bring one person on the field with you at a time?
I prefer to do that.
Oh.
Sometimes if it's a couple, they'll come together. I have not done groups because when I do groups, I notice that there's so many different questions and it can be overwhelming.
Got it. So I was super confused.
Yeah.
You bring in one person at a time?
Sure, why not?
So how do they sign up? Like, if someone want to sign up with you, what's my first step I got to do?
Contact me. We'll do a consultation over the phone. And if I feel like it's a good fit, then I'll tell you how to send the money.
I like that.
Yep.
Yo, so you got an application process basically when somebody wants to sign up for your mentorship. You won't just take anybody?
No.
So what's some qualifications that would take me out of the game?
If I felt like you weren't serious about real estate, if I feel like, not take you out of the game, but I would delay the process if I asked you, for example, after I mentor you, how soon would you be willing to take the next step and start getting into real estate? Because one thing I don't ever want to do is I never want to take someone's money, teach them something, they're not ready, and then their failure falls back on me because I like to keep a good name. We're from Philly. We're all about keeping a good name. So I will not take someone's money in that situation. And also if their schedule isn't flexible, because my schedule is not very flexible. So I need them to come on my time.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Like, how many students would you take at once? Like, when somebody signs up, you do the vetting process. Let's just say, that's all of us wanted to join. We say, yo, so if all of us means it's like 4 of us in here. If 4 of us wanted to join and say, yo, Leash, man, I'm trying to sign up for this program. We money ready, we ready to go. We do the interviews, we get in. How many of us you taking at a time?
I would take 5 at a time. I just wouldn't take on more than 5 because if 5 people wanted to start, and actually it could be more if they don't want to start, let's say, next week. So if they wanted to start next week, for example, I wouldn't take more than 5 because I don't want to do more than 1 a day because of the way my schedule already is set up. And I only work 5 days a week.
That's good.
In the field.
So, and then duration, like how long are we being mentored by you? It's like, how long is the program?
Different people will learn quicker than others, but the maximum for the first tier of mentorship is 3 days.
3 days?
3 days.
Now that makes it even spicier. 3 days.
3 days.
Oh my God.
Now they will have ongoing support and relationship with me. It's not like I just dump them after that.
So how does that work? I could just call you whenever I want.
No.
I'm about to say, mentor me now. I need this joint.
No, I actually, all my phone calls have to be scheduled. So if someone calls me and just randomly calls my phone right now, I would say, hey, can you call me tomorrow at 11 a.m. or can you call me today at 4 p.m. or whenever my availability is. But I schedule my phone calls now.
Do you have VAs?
VA.
Virtual assistant?
No, I do not.
That would be the easiest way to take away that issue right there. Anybody call you, call a VA schedule. Boom, they only got to answer at all.
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes they just want to hear my voice. And that's okay.
Okay.
It doesn't take much time for me to just either answer the phone or respond with a text, and I tell them when they can call me. It's not like they're going to blow me up every day. They already know because in our first conversation, I let them know what's included in the first tier of mentorship.
The 3 days.
And then also with that, I include my house jerk membership. So the house jerk membership, what it is we have a large community of whether it's startup investors, seasoned investors. We have anybody who's in real estate, period, that does everything I do and more. So they have a large network of people. So all they have to do is when they pay me, I include that. I include that membership in there. So they'll already get a login. So when I'm done with the infield mentorship, they can always come to our meetings on Thursday. With the membership, it's complimentary. They get to come every Thursday and network with people, and they get to ask questions there. So it's not pushing them off on them because they can still have a communication with me, but they'll just have a larger network of people. So let's say they want to get some deals to start wholesaling, for example. Mm-hmm. If there's no deals that I send they don't like, they have a whole room full of people that can send them deals, or they can just go on the website and we post deals on the website, for example. So that helps that.
Strong. Mm-hmm. That's dope. So let's talk about Leash.
Okay.
You're from Philly, from where I'm from. What part of Philly you from?
A little bit of North Philly, a little bit of Northeast, back and forth.
Okay, North Philly. You know, you from, you know what I mean?
Badlands, where all the other Puerto Rican girls come from.
I'm from Southwest, man. That's just the hood. So, you know what I mean? I'm from Southwest, and that's like near Darby, Upper Darby.
I know where that's at. I'm very familiar with it.
I'm telling the people.
Oh, okay.
You know, they don't know. I know you know. You're from Philly, so it's all part of the game. But that's what's up. So what made you end up in Atlanta? You know what I'm saying? What's up with that?
You really want to know the truth?
Absolutely.
So, and I'm not ashamed to say it. You know, I used to be in the street.
Okay.
I was not always in real estate.
Okay.
Most of my life I was a drug dealer.
Ooh.
And that was my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that my life had to be something different. And I knew I wanted to get into real estate. And when I was coming here, it wasn't for real estate. I was actually trying to do acting. So I was trying all these different things to kind of get out of my life. And I knew that I wanted my plan B. So I was working on my plan B for the second chapter of my life. And I always loved Atlanta. So I got called for a casting in Atlanta. And it was for some reality show that ended up being nothing. But along the way, I started learning my way around, meeting people. And I knew, I was like, wow, this is my outlet. So I'm tired of my life here in Philly. Let me start taking the baby steps to, you know, transform my life and do something more positive with myself. And that's what I did. I used Atlanta as that funnel for that.
So do you still act?
No, I can't say that I don't. If someone calls me for something, then I will. I think I've done like 3 things over the last 4 years. I mean, it's not something I do, but if I need to, I will. Yeah.
That's dope. Damn, so you was trapping and then you tried to come down here to act and then you fell into real estate. How the hell did you get into real estate?
And then I skipped something. So I broker loans, as I mentioned earlier. Okay. So I was brokering loans with a woman here. So I did some acting, and then I was also preparing to manage an office where I would help her broker business loans. And I was in training, but that actually ended up not being a situation I wanted to entertain once I got to know the company and how they were structured. So I moved here and I tried everything from like lashes to just all kinds of stuff. And then
I see your lashes is crazy right now.
They're always popping. Yeah, thank you.
Fleeky.
But yeah, okay. I bought my first property in January of 2019. So I took about 3 years to start learning my way around, doing my due diligence. And for those that don't know what due diligence is, it's like research on properties and things like that. So I started doing my due diligence on the different areas in Atlanta and the numbers, and that's how I just ended up in real estate, to answer your question.
Damn. So How many doors you at now? How much real estate do you own?
I own 8 doors now.
Any multifamilies?
No, not yet.
Okay. So you
That's
doing
in,
all residential?
yeah, that's in the works. I did have a commercial lot that I just sold.
Can you walk us through that deal? How does that happen? How do you do a commercial lot deal like that?
So my mentor actually sold me a commercial lot back in 2019. I didn't know much about the area, but I heard of Slutty Vegan, and I knew it was by there, and I also heard Beltline. So those were the 2 keywords that sold me on that property.
Okay.
Just because you buy a property doesn't mean automatically it's money. So back then, when I saw a property, I saw, oh, this is automatically going to be money, guaranteed money. But as I started getting educated along the way, I started learning that every property wasn't good money because it could depend on the location, the parking situation, all kinds of zoning, the property taxes. And with commercial property, you have to pay so much more in property taxes. And because it was in the Beltline, of course, they were charging a lot and there was no parking. So that particular property wasn't good for me. Maybe it'll work for someone else. But I did end up selling it, and I almost doubled my money, so it was all good. I paid 80, and I sold it for 160.
That's a hell of a come up. That's a good place to park your money. I would park 80 to get 160.
Yeah, for 2 years.
Yeah, I would do that.
I sold it last year. Yeah, I mean, the setbacks didn't work for me. So when I got a survey and I saw the setbacks, and I saw that the neighboring houses there was a neighboring house and a neighboring business. Neither one it took 2 years and they still weren't even maintaining their lawn, let alone planning to do any rehab on their properties. Right. So I knew that if I was going to go and put all that money into it, I was going to be stuck with a property that A, had no good parking, and then B, I was going to be the newest one. So I wasn't going to bring up the comps. The comps weren't there. So if I had to refinance or anything, if I wanted to keep it, I wasn't going to be able to get the money or the comps that I wanted because nobody else in the neighborhood was doing anything.
That's a fact.
There was no
they
traction.
Always say buy the oldest crib in the house, not the newest crib. So it's the same thing for commercial properties too.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
So how did you pay for that? You pay cash?
Yeah, I paid cash.
80 racks out the pocket.
I did owner finance, so I put 40,000 down, and then I did owner finance with him.
Can you explain that? I have no idea what that is.
So owner finance is when you go to an owner and say, "Hey, I don't want to go through a lender. Let me give you a deposit and work out a payment plan." So some of them will do interest only payments until you can pay the balance, which that's what we did. Or you can do it another way to where something can get applied to principal. So you might say, for example, hey, Leash, I want to buy this property that's $100,000. I only have $50,000 right now. So let me give you 50. And then over a 12 or 18 month period, whatever it may be, it's usually shorter terms like that. Let me give you $3,000 a month. Maybe that $3,000 a month wasn't all going towards principal. Maybe 1,500 of it would go to principal and 1,500, for example, might go to interest. Just because you have to make it interesting for the owner because the owner doesn't have to sell to you. They can sell to someone who can just cash them out. Right. So you have to make it appealing for them. So that's what I did.
Right. And then, so you bought it from your mentor.
Yes.
So he made it make sense for you.
Yeah, he made it make sense. And you know what? He didn't walk me through the process, and that's okay because I can respect that because he gave me the opportunity to learn hands-on. If someone just tells you something, you're not going to learn anything because they're going to give everything to you. So he actually let me learn a little bit of hands-on stuff, and I'm really thankful for that.
Right. Experience is the best teacher.
For sure.
Okay. So tell us some of the mistakes that you learned like along the way. Now that after that property, cool, we heard your mistakes from there. So you got some other properties since then. Mm-hmm. So tell us about some of the mistakes you learned.
Just holding on past the expiration date. That's what I call it. So when you know that it's time to let go, if you feel in your gut, hey, it's time to let go of this property and move on to something else, 9 out of 10 times you got to listen to your gut and move on. So I guess they were my babies because they were like the first, they weren't the first properties I bought. I bought one back in Philly and one in Jersey back in the day. But as far as doing full rehabs and these kind of projects, and the ones in Atlanta, these were my first 5. So the first 5 that I bought between January 2019 and April 2019, there was like sentimental value there. So I didn't want to let them go. And one of them was that property I just discussed with you. There was another one, for example, they kept talking about Vine City. So I was like, oh, Vine City, this is going to be great. I see all the things developing in the area. Let me hold on to it. I started watching my money kind of go down the drain with hard money lenders. People kept dumping, illegally dumping, and the city wasn't helping me. I kept having to pay out of pocket for like dumpsters and people to come clean up. I mean, furniture. They were throwing couches and beds and stuff. It was insane. So at that point, I probably should have let it go, and I don't think I did because I wanted to hold on to it. And from that, I kind of learned. Now that I'm looking at the numbers, like for example, I paid $67,000 for it.
Mm-hmm.
I paid a hard money lender $1,651 over an 18-month period.
Damn.
Not $1 goes to principal because when you're dealing with hard money lenders, everything is interest only.
Right.
So you're giving free money away. You're
Right.
buying time. That's what you're doing.
That's it.
And if you do the math on the 67,000 plus the 1651 that I paid over, a 15-month period, 18-month period, and then all the dumpsters, all the people I had to pay to clean, the demo crew, I mean, all the things, the permits, expediters, architects, I mean, all the steps I had to take to get my permits, I ended up not getting a permit, and the city still was trying to demolish the house. It took for them to actually, code enforcement and me to go back and forth for me to let go of this property. When I saw the signs in the beginning, this was not a house in an area, again, that was being developed. So there might have been things in Vine City developing, but in Atlanta, a lot of stuff is block for block. This particular block, actually, there was like a 4-block radius around me, including my block, where nobody was building anything. And all the houses had been abandoned for over 10, 15 years. After speaking to the neighbors, that should have been an indicator then to walk away. But I didn't want to walk away because I was thinking with greed. So thinking with greed ended up costing me a lot more than I made, because in the end, I actually gave up after they were trying to demolish the house. I got tired of going back and forth with them, and I couldn't get a permit. So I was like, well, let me sell this. I sold for $89,000. To someone who's not educated, they would think it's a win. Like, oh, you bought it for $67,000. You didn't have to build it, and then you received $89,000. Not necessarily, because you got to think of all the money that was put out from the time I purchased it to the time I sold it. So even though I got 89, I still was in the rears. It's not even like I broke even.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing when to let go is probably like the best advice I could give somebody, like in the beginning.
How much is your mentorship?
The first tier of mentorship is $1,500.
You should charge more.
I'm sure.
You should charge more. You can't teach that experience you just gave just now. That's something that has to be done from experience.
That's
I can't
right.
pump fake what you've been through.
That's right.
A lot of people can't. So a person is not an expert until they take a L, until they really take those type of things to happen to them, for them to be able to comment on anything that's going on in real estate.
I agree.
Do you feel what I'm saying? So
I
it's
agree.
a lot of people that, oh yeah, every property I get it's a W. But if you haven't made no L's, you're not an expert. Because when the worst thing happens, you don't know what to do. You're not prepared for it mentally, or you don't know exactly the steps to take. And they won't even understand how to articulate what you just articulated just now.
That's true. I agree.
Signing up for your mentorship.
You should. Absolutely.
It's cheap enough.
Yeah, well, eventually I'm sure that I'll have to raise my prices. The reason why I actually just charge $1,500, and I'll tell you why. So the $1,500 number came from this. When I first started looking for a property in Atlanta, I found 2 of them that I really liked. One was in the Pittsburgh area, by University Avenue,
Mm-hmm.
and then one was in Smyrna. And I really wanted the one in Smyrna because, like most people just getting into it, they're like, let me buy something that I could move into and then rent it out later. That's like the one idea everybody comes up with, right? When you don't know what's really going on in the real estate world. So that was me. So I really was gearing towards a Smyrna one because I was like, oh, this is a good area. I'm from Philly. I probably say that wrong. Everybody says I say that wrong. Smyrna. I can never say that wrong. But you know what I'm talking
about. That's how I say it too.
So.
Smyrna.
This house, I put it under contract. I put an EMD, earnest money deposit, to hold the property.
Mm-hmm.
And I was waiting. It was Christmas time, and I was waiting until January 2nd for us to go to closing. Now, the backup house was the one by Pittsburgh. I was like, I wouldn't live there, but I'm considering buying it because it was like halfway done.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all the houses I saw, that would probably be the safest investment for me. So it was one or the other. So when I went to go to closing, they told me that the house that I was waiting to close on, actually, it got sold at an auction. So I wanted this other house, but I didn't want to pay what the wholesaler was asking. And at the time, I didn't respect wholesalers because I didn't do any wholesaling myself. So I just felt like I'm going to cut the middleman out. And like I said, I used to be in the street. So you always wanted to cut the middleman out to get the cheapest prices.
Right.
So I was using the same mentality with real estate. And I was like, why would I give him 116 when I know I can get it cheaper if I could just find the owner?
Right.
Couldn't find the owner. I actually did a Google search on the highest rated real estate attorney in the area. Her name was Dana Allen. So I went to her office and I said, hey, can you find the owner of this property? Because I can't find him and I don't really have the resources. And I said, listen, I'll tell you what, how about I just pay you $1,500, find me the owner and put this thing under contract. I want this house because the other one fell through. So that $1,500 that I paid her, she found me the owner. While I'm at closing, the owner comes to sign. And the owner is Don Jacobs, who became my mentor.
Wow.
He said to me, it's nice to meet you. Do you own any other houses? Are you an active real estate investor? Is this your first property? He starts asking me all these questions. And I answered them and I told him, no, this is my first one in Atlanta, but I want to, meet more investors. I want to learn more things. And I said, I really wanted to meet you because she said you're an investor and I want to become a big time investor. So I paid $1,500 for her to find you. I didn't want your wholesalers. I wanted you. So he said, okay. I didn't know he was a mentor. I just wanted to expand my network. So that $1,500 was for me to expand my network and for me to just get in a loop with some investors. So I feel like the same skin I have in the game, I want somebody else to have. Now, all the experience and all the other stuff came after. He did teach me some stuff in the mentorship, but he taught me the basics, the fundamentals. Everything else came from hands-on. See, me, I'm incorporating some hands-on, and I'm helping them expand their network by giving them the house jerk. So the $1,500, I feel like all the pieces go together, and that price that's where it came from, $1,500. I want them to have the same investment that I had.
Okay. So my only question is this. So you take in one person at a time, 3 days, $1,500. You ever want to help more people? Because after you watch this podcast, it's going to be a million bajillion people want to sign up. You ever thought about making an offer that can accommodate those people?
Well, yeah. I'm open to group sessions. I'm not opposed to them. I just feel like giving people more individualized attention, it just helps some people. Some people don't learn well when there's a bunch of other people asking questions. They might even forget what they have to ask. So that's why I do one-on-one, but I would definitely be open to taking on more people. That's not a problem.
So do you think one-on-one is better than group?
It depends on how someone learns. So some people learn, they're okay with sitting in a classroom with several people, and some people just need that individualized attention. So maybe eventually, as my brand starts to grow and my program starts to accept more students, I will eventually separate it to where people will have to pay a little extra to have one-on-one, and then I'll do like a flat rate for group or something like that. I've considered that, and I'm also going to eventually come up with a course because some people can't come in the field. So I want to be able to cater to different people.
I think you should. I think your expertise needs to be, something that's taught to everyone.
Yeah.
And the reason why I like groups so much is just because you learn more. Like me, when I got one-on-one, if me and you sat down one-on-one, we're going to only get me and your thoughts. When I get the group, I get to involve their thoughts. Everybody can chime in. They might be in different cities. So the cool thing about real estate is not the same, universal. It's different in different states. It's different rules and regulations, right? So I might hear he doing something in Detroit, and I know I'm about to go in Detroit, but he out there. He like, yo, I'm in Detroit, and it's and because I'm in the group, I can hear his whole experience. And then when I go out there, not only do I hear his experience, but I get to network with this person and get involved in his deals. So the group coaching is always, to me, way better because I'm going to get everybody's experience, my own questions answered also, and I'll get the coach's experience, and then I get the network of people. The network of people is where the bread is at. So that's why I always like, and I think you should definitely have that, especially going on what you got going on. Because me, every time I talk to you, I'm learning something. I'm just like, damn, this is crazy how much she know. And I'm just looking at you, I'm like, sheesh. And you're not really teaching all, like you literally being selfish a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Well, what you're saying about the group, they do get the group because if you heard me when I said the house jerk, right? So that's why I incorporated house jerk into it. So they can come, let's say they come in the field with me Monday and Wednesday of this week. and then they come Thursday to the group. So some questions they may have to ask, not only will they be able to have access to ask me, there's other people that are seasoned investors that are speakers and they're in the group. And then we even have a networking hour where everybody can exchange information, exchange what they do. Not only will they be able to promote whatever they do, whatever knowledge they have, they'll be able to get knowledge and, contacts from other people as well. Perfect. So, they kind of get that group there, I would say.
Gotcha.
But eventually, I see what you're saying, and I would definitely be open to that.
Mandatory. I think it needs to happen. I think that you're right. The house drug thing is super dope. I actually had the luxury of being able to go to one of the meetings. Super dope environment, super group. But I think individually, to separate yourself from the entire group, I think that should be an option. Like, you know what? There's a community where we all can tap in together, and there's this, and then you have my community that you can meet with the people who join with you. I think that environment would be awesome, like for them to have your personal community. And then you don't know, sometimes just with people don't always relate to everyone, but sometimes they're going to relate to you. And I'm sure that, do you know what pretty privilege is?
No.
You don't know what that is?
No.
I think you have it and you don't even know.
What do you mean?
Pretty privilege. So clearly there are women who are extremely beautiful and they get privileges that regular people don't.
Yeah.
So you have that?
Yeah.
Okay. So exactly. So just because of how you look, how you talk, and who you are, you're going to get people that gravitate towards you more than whatever industry you're in, whatever company you're affiliated with. But it's going to be you that they want to mess with. So just like you said earlier, when they text you or call you on the phone, they just want to hear your voice. It's going to be the same with the community. So I think you might need to start building your own community so people can come tap in with you, the source. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, just as just me just spitballing, that if you were to take that, I think it would change a lot of people's lives, including your own.
Yeah, I agree. That's the goal in what I'm doing anyway. It's not just to make money. That's why some people think that my mentorship is a little cheap or it should be more expensive. And maybe in time it will be. But if I can help people grow, for me, that's payment enough.
Absolutely.
Because I'm doing a good deed, but my time is still valuable.
That's what I'm about to say.
I still charge something, but I actually want to help people. And then ultimately, most people that I help, they don't just go astray. You got to think. They come to me to find the property. They come to me to get the loan. They come to me to do the construction. And then they come to me if they decide to do Airbnb. If not, they want to sell it, then I get it sold for them too. And I make money off of everything.
Oh, so you be getting percentages too out of it?
Absolutely. I don't do anything for free.
Anything?
Nothing.
You on the show for free. No, I'm just joking. But anyway, that's dope. So that's the thing I was going to say about it. It's just that people will think because you're about the 1,500 or whatever, like saying it's cheap and you want to help people. What will happen is you'll stop doing it because you wasn't prioritizing how much you are worth. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So if you say, okay, I'm going to take this dude for $15 for 3 days, one person, 3 days of your time is worth $1,500.
But guess what? If I teach him right, and if he's really ready to buy after that, we're going back to what I asked first. When you said, what does it take to qualify? If you're not ready to make a move, then I'm not going to teach you right now because I want you to be successful. And I also want us to make money. So part of that is, $1,500 for 3 days. However, then after that, hey, I'm ready to buy a house. Now I'm going to find a property. I'm going to wholesale it to them and make between $5,000 and $10,000 off the property. I'm going to make 1 or 2 points off of the loan, and then I'm going to make anywhere between $15,000 and $30,000 off the project management.
That's if everything goes through, though. Why not just guarantee your time is worth what it is?
That's if everything goes through.
Yeah, but if you just guarantee your time, this is just me giving you insight. So I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't do this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just giving you insight. So, yeah, that is a good way to alley-oop yourself into getting plays and new business partners and new relationships, right? But that's if everything goes through perfectly as you thought that would. I get a wholesale deal. I get this. I get that. The market doesn't crash. Everything's good. The pandemic doesn't. All these things is going to come into play, right? But if every time you are taking your time to explain your expertise and literally, because you let them come to you in person, which is amazing. Everybody, I swear, if you don't take advantage of this $1,500, I'm telling you, this lady can turn you up. Okay, so peep game. So imagine, like, if you're guaranteed my time for 3 days, just imagine if somebody, oh my Lord, yo, if one of y'all hit me and say, Mitch, I want to spend 3 days with you. And you tell me you got 1,500. I'm laughing. I'm laughing only because there is no way.
An hour a day?
But what? Do you know how much that's going to cost me? It's going to cost me so much. It's going to cost me so much just to be with you for 3 days, for that hour.
Let me ask you a question.
It's going to cost me so much.
What if you're already on your way to an Airbnb? You're already on your way there.
I wouldn't be. I got staff going there.
Okay, got you.
You feel me? And that's just reality.
See, I like to be hands-on, so it's different for me.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So if I'm on my way to a construction site, if someone's paying me to do project management, I have to go make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. And that's the most exciting part of real estate for people who are just getting started, seeing that part. So if I'm on my way to a job site, hey, meet me on this job site. They come to the job site. Hey, meet me at Lowe's. They love that.
Yeah, and it's just one person, so.
And then I do my own walkthrough. So if my Airbnbs, I have a staff that cleans it, but I want to walk through because I want to make sure when I walk through, it's smelling and looking like it would if I was to rent.
How many Airbnbs you got?
3.
3? What happens when you got 300?
When I have 300, then of course I'm going to have someone to do that for me, and I will have to properly train them. But in the meantime, I only have 3 Airbnbs. It's okay.
It's 2022. And the reason why you cancel the show is for me to give you this insight. This is the only reason you're here. And then also for these people to find out this amazing deal you got to offer.
Yeah.
But when anything you do, how you do anything, it should be how you do everything. Like it should be, if you're doing it big, if you want to do it big out the gate. Why set yourself up to 3 years down the line, I'm going to start having somebody do it. Why not do it now? Because all of that time that you're taking to get in your car and go wherever your Airbnbs are, to go through each building and check and make sure they didn't do anything wrong or they cleaned it correctly. You could already train one lady or 2 people to do it and walk through them yourself. And all of that time where they doing that, you can be making other money and then prioritizing your time that way. So clearly you doing things right. That's why you're here. We know that.
Right.
Your reputation speaks for yourself. Everybody know about you.
Thank you.
Literally, Cash did the interview. He told me everything about you.
Really?
Before I actually talked to you, me and Cash was talking about the fact that you have what it takes. You don't have to know everything. We already knew that you have what it takes.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying by that? Yeah. Like, so basically, some people know all about, credit. Some people know about cash, about real estate. They know about e-commerce. They know about all these different things. But you have something that these people don't have. And you have something that is something that you can't talk about, like you just have it. So like when I first saw you, you got up and introduced Cash and everybody into a room full of people that didn't know them.
That's right.
Nobody asked you to do that. You did it yourself.
That's right.
That means that opportunities that are going to come to you are going to come to you because you have that ability to do things of that caliber. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's right.
So because if you marry the 2 though, let me get my leg together. If you marry the 2, like you married that ability that you have to create opportunities, your pretty privilege, your knowledge of real estate, your knowledge of Airbnb, and then marry that with the business aspect of understanding, prioritizing your time, you'll make more money than everybody that ever did this show. You get what I'm saying? And it's reality.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% dead serious. Like, I know that you probably don't know yet, but I know if you married the 2, you won't even talk to me. You'll be like, Mitch, nigga, I need at least a 20 ball to come step over here. And it'll be worth it. But you gotta make sure that you know that too.
Yeah, for sure.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's all I was trying to say. But either way, so this is a part of the show where I asked you to make me some money. So can you tell me how to make some money in 2022? Any type of way,
Any type of way I know. There's so many ways to make
Except
money.
for the way before what you used to do. We can't do that.
No,
not on this show.
No, we're not.
But there's another show for that.
We're not.
There's another show for that.
You know what?
It's called First 48.
There's not enough money in the world for me to go back to that life. I tell you that, because every day I wake up and absolutely love what I do. If you're not in real estate, I would say get into real estate. Real estate, I mean, I swear by it. I rent luxury cars. I have Airbnb.
You rent luxury cars?
I do all kinds of things. Yeah.
What cars you got?
I rent other people's cars. I broker them.
That's a play. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So Cash actually took me and I bought all these cars, and it was too much to keep up with for me, I guess, because I do real estate. When you have all these mortgages and expenses with real estate, you make a lot of money, but it's a lot of responsibility. So for me, I didn't think that having the cars and that overhead worked for me. I'm more comfortable with brokering other people's cars, so I don't have the overhead, the maintenance, anything. So I have several different people who have luxury cars, and I'll just hit them up and be like, "Hey, I have a rental." So I do video shoots. I do video shoots with my properties also. So I might get a call for a video shoot. So they might need a property, some models, a car, production assistants, and I'll go put the whole play together for them and get paid for everything. Or if they want to rent my Airbnb, or they're coming in town, whatever. I know a lot of people come in town. They all want to, ride clean. They want something nice. Then I'll go ahead and I'll see what kind of cars they want. And I have a list of cars from all the people that I partnered up with. And I supply them with a list of the cars, make, model, year, prices, whether it's hourly or daily. And then they'll let me know what they want. And I do the same thing with Airbnbs also. Sometimes people might not want the Airbnbs I have. They might want something in a different area. They might want mansions. They might want condos. None of mine are condos or mansions. They're all single-family homes in the Pittsburgh area, Beltline area. Some people are okay with it because of the location, and some people are not because of the location.
Facts.
That can go either way. It's a convenient location, but the surrounding areas, like I said earlier, it's block to block.
Facts.
So I do the same thing with cars and houses.
Play. That was making somebody some money. Learn how to, own nothing, control everything.
Yeah.
Being able to put yourself and be a middleman, position yourself with the owner and the buyer.
Yeah.
Smooth. I like it. Me gusta mucho, sí.
Yeah.
But
Having
yes,
several streams
like
of
that.
income. I mean, having several streams of income and having something like real estate. I mean, I just feel like real estate is the safest investment for me. Maybe somebody else has a different opinion.
Safest?
Safest for me.
Just subjective. But, I make money in real estate, cars, and all that stuff, too. I got all the cars, right?
I know.
I mean, you ain't sent me no clients. I don't believe in your list.
But no, you know what? I didn't know everything that you had.
Oh, I got every learning. Car, though. Some people got like, I got this. I got every car.
I was actually talking to your brother about it last night. I didn't know. I really didn't know. I know a lot about you. I hear great things about you. But I did not know all of what you did.
Oh, for sure. But now you know.
So we're learning. So now we're going to get some money together.
And I got the cribs. I got the mansions, for sure.
Okay. Well,
and they're not in the bad areas. They're in the good areas. You dig?
Okay. Well, what I need is, after the show, I'm going to need a list of everything.
For sure. You're not going to get it from me, though. My brother going to be right there. He's going to get you right together.
Your brother? Okay, cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, whoever. Wherever I can get the list from.
No, that's what's important. So tell them where they can find you on social media.
Okay. So we're not going to talk about that one page. No, we are. So
right. Yeah.
So, okay. So I have 2 pages. I have Not Your Averagepreneur, and then I have It's Just _ and Leash, and that's LEESH. And Not Your Averagepreneur is NOTYOUR AVERAGEPRENEUR. I know it's long, but it's just Not Your Averagepreneur.
Damn, you can spell good too, because I literally wouldn't even been able to spell that back. But don't worry about it, y'all. Dropping it right below the YouTube video ain't even no big deal. We're going to get y'all right together. No, so we're going to get your social media like you gave it to my assistant when you came in?
Yes, I did. We good.
Systems. Hey, but yeah, we're going to make sure we got her information, and we're going to get y'all right to her so I can sign up for that super mentorship program. You going to give them a discount on the mentorship for being on the show?
We'll talk about it.
Okay, well, I'll let y'all know. Maybe she'll.
Oh, you said, am I going to give you a discount?
No, not me. I mean, just the
audience.
People? Yeah.
What do you
I want to pay full price.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll work something out with them.
I'm going to get all 3 of my brothers to take your mentorship so they can follow you around.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
You feel me? For the streets.
You absolutely should. Yeah.
You dig?
It's a good idea.
So you know what it is. This your boy Pushmanmitch. This is the episode of No Fluff the Podcast with my girl Lee. She just unleashed that crazy knowledge on y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Next week we out here.
All these whips, I feel like Mitch.